Hi, I'm Casey.
And I'm Connor. And welcome to the Cinematics Podcast.
So we're going to do something a little different for this one. This one is going to be two movies instead of one. So we both went and saw movies in the theaters. We didn't plan on this, but we were going to watch a different movie. We didn't watch it, so we're going to do this instead. Connor watched
The Monkey.
And I watched the new Captain America film. Both of them, I believe, fairly new. I know Captain America just came out. I don't know.
The Monkey also just came out like last week.
So, very new releases. If we get this out quick, maybe we can do, get on the hype. We'll see. Depends on our editor. He's pretty slow.
Wow. Well, with the Monkey, I think it's a case of, is there the hype? And with Captain America, it's there is the hype, but it's because it's
just because it's Marvel.
It's in most people's eyes, it's also really bad.
Well, I don't think it's bad. Okay, so just to give so Connor hasn't seen this movie. I've seen this movie. Monkey, I haven't seen. He's seen. Yeah. So for this, I'm just going to give my review. For this movie, I think it is a solid 6.
Okay.
6.5 maybe. It is a okay movie. It's not terrible. It is not a good movie. It's the biggest sin I think I have with this movie is the trailers show this movie having the Hulk in it. I imagined the Hulk was in this whole movie.
Yeah, I thought the Red Hulk was going to be in. Yeah, I've heard he's only in there for like 4 minutes.
He is in it in one scene at the very end, in one fight scene with Captain America. That's it.
Yeah.
And I was so upset about this.
Yeah, I mean, that just sucks.
It's so dumb. Like, they marketed this as a Harrison Ford turns into the Hulk, and the Hulk is in this the whole time.
And why have Harrison Ford, be in there to just have like 4 minutes as a villain?
Yeah. Now, to be fair, Harrison Ford is in this movie a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they really use the fact that they have Harrison Ford. He is in this movie a lot. I just wish he was the Red Hulk for more of it.
But, I mean, the visual for Red Hulk looks insane. He looks great.
He does. He looks cool.
And I think that, he looks better than, honestly, I thought that their, Red Hulk looked better than Banner did for a while.
I don't think I agree with that.
I haven't seen it, but I thought that what he looked like in the trailers, I thought he looked fantastic. I thought it was a really great character model.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job on it, 100%. It is wild to me that they didn't use him more in the movie.
Yeah.
And then I think the other issue I have with this movie it just makes it not very good is it's a very down-to-earth movie. Obviously, this Captain America does not have the super serum. So he's just a normal guy. You can't make him do anything super insane like you could with Captain America.
Yeah.
So it's a very down-to-earth movie, which I'm okay with. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I just don't feel like a lot happens in it. Also, I don't know why this is a Captain America film.
Yeah.
This should just be, instead of having the Captain America in this film, they should have made this a Hulk film.
I agree.
They should have, instead of Captain America, take Captain America out, put Hulk in. He's having to fight the Red Hulk, and he's having to fight the super smart guy, which I'm forgetting his name, who's the main villain.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seemed, and also the villain just seemed, he didn't. I know he did a lot, but at the same time, it did not feel like he did anything.
Yeah, I've watched Moist Critical's spoiler review on it, so that's pretty much all I have to go off. And I also watched a good bit of a video essay that went through the entire movie, so I do know a little bit about it. And I mean, I heard that super smart villain gets a lot of shit wrong. Everything goes off his statistics. Statistically speaking, this is going to happen if this happens, and it never does.
And then it never happens. Nothing he said. He's like, I am so incredibly smart. I have gamma blood in me. Instead of making me strong, it made me incredibly smart. Made me super ugly though. It's a trade-off. So I am so smart. I predict that this is going to happen if this happens. But then he just can't predict fucking Captain America.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking dumbass.
Yeah.
And then he keeps thinking that these things are going to happen with Harrison Ford, and then none of them fucking happen. Hello? Are you terrible at your job?
Yeah, that just seems like I don't know, it seems really dumb. And I think that they did miss an opportunity to have the actual Hulk in this movie.
They did.
And I didn't even watch the movie.
We haven't seen Hulk.
The Hulk has been totally shafted by Marvel this entire time for no reason.
Just because I assume it's because he costs a lot to do because he's
maybe
probably it'd probably just be CG, but which is weird. That's the only thing I can think. But I imagine these films take a lot of CG anyway.
I mean, these films are running at like 300 mil a piece.
Yeah,
and that's actually insane that this movie. They reported this movie being like 150 mil, but Disney. I've also heard that Disney is not a reputable source when it comes to talking about how much their movies have been costing.
Oh, really?
This movie cost nearly double that.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure this actual cost of the movie was close to 300 mil, making it one of a higher end budget Marvel movie, which is really weird. I mean, like
and this is a down to earth movie,
this is
which
a
is
spy
wild too.
Thriller kind of movie.
I wonder how much of that went into Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I wonder. Like, is that actually what's costing them all of this money?
Yeah.
I mean, you also have like all these scenes with Sam Wilson flying around and stuff. I assume because that's kind of
now. I will say, whenever he does actually do his suit and everything like that, he is actually Captain America. I think the scenes are amazing. All his fight scenes, all his air scenes, air combat. Mm-hmm. He's fighting two fighter jets in the air.
I saw the one where he chopped the wing off.
Yeah, he goes like this and he chops the wing in half. Yeah. He takes out a couple rockets mid-air. He has one. Oh, I thought this was such a fucking cool idea. He's flying. He has Red Wing behind him holding his shield, blocking bullets that are coming in while he's flying in front of it. Fucking really cool as fuck idea. Really cool. I've never thought about that. That's such an interesting way to do that.
Yeah. So they had some interesting concepts going on in the movie.
And the fight scenes were excellent. Like in the very beginning, they're going into a place with Bullseye, I think is what they called it. And basically it was this mercenary group, and he one-on-ones this guy, and it's very clear Wilson is not as strong as Steve. Yeah. But at the same time, he knows how to fight, so he still beats him pretty handedly, even without his shield or anything like that, using his equipment and stuff. So it's it kind of shows this guy is still good at fighting. He's not as strong, but he is still good at fighting.
Yeah.
The head guy of Bullseye, he comes and attacks him. He gets fucking knifed and hit with a fucking tomahawk straight in the chest, and he's like, "I'm fine."
Wow.
I think he says he has a Kevlar vest on, but still.
There's no way.
So the fight scenes were fun, pretty good in my opinion. All of that. I didn't really like the villain. I thought he was pretty useless for pretty much most of the movie. And then I also did not like the fact that Harrison Ford was in this movie. He didn't do a bad job. It felt like every time I saw him, I didn't think of General Ross. I went, oh, that's Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he's been having that problem with movies recently because he's been taking on a lot of random shit roles.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think he was a good choice for this movie.
You know who else I'm starting to feel like might kind of have that syndrome going on where, we've seen him in so much so recently that it's he's kind of having an identity crisis as an actor? I think Pedro Pascal is getting to that point.
I can see that. Anytime you see him in anything, because I think that's going to be the case with this new Fantastic Four.
I agree. That's what I was going to bring up.
Yeah.
It's I honestly thought that I would hate Pedro cast as Reed Richards more than I do. Because seeing him in the trailer,
he actually seems pretty cool.
He looked great.
I like him.
He looks great as Reed Richards. It actually works better than I thought it would. But I still think that he's going to have that kind of actor, identity crisis syndrome thing going on because he's been, Gladiator. He's been, the Last of Us main character. He's been, who was the other one that he did? Mandalorian. He's just been.
He's been in a lot of fucking
everywhere this year.
And don't get us wrong, he is a good ass actor. I think.
Yeah.
As well.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think he's really, really good. He's just getting to that status. It's kind of like The Rock. Mm-hmm. He's different than The Rock because The Rock just plays himself in every single movie, and that's why he's kind of shit. I used to like The Rock too. Not a big fan of him anymore.
I prefer Vin Diesel.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't really see Vin Diesel in anything.
He's in a lot of movies that I watch for some reason.
What movies?
I think Denis Villeneuve really likes him.
Oh, yeah?
He's the guy that made Blade Runner and Dune. He's in a lot of his movies, and he always plays it because Vin Diesel has a sort of alienish look to him, and you can kind of fit him into a lot of roles. He was also Drax and Guardians.
No, he isn't. What?
Vin Diesel? Yeah, he is.
He doesn't play Drax.
Oh, wait.
He's Groot.
Oh, that's right.
Thank you. No, Steve Bautista is Drax.
Oh, yeah, Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
That's right. You're right. You're right.
So they're both boring ass names, okay?
No, you're definitely right. Okay.
Yeah. I would have loved to have seen Vin Diesel as Drax. That would have been a really good role.
I think I might just be confusing those two actors and morphing them into one person.
To be fair, they look very similar. They're both big, bald guys that have big muscles.
I might actually be thinking that. Whatever. That's a really random tangent, but anyway, continue talking about Captain America.
But yeah, no, I thought this movie, like I said, I think this has been the case with a lot of Marvel movies recently. None of them have been excellent. They've all been just like mediocre.
Yeah.
I think this one does the same thing.
I've heard this movie had like 3 critical reshoots.
Oh, really?
And like massive script changes.
That doesn't surprise me.
And that's why
might be why the budget's so large.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah. And it also had like test screenings. This movie's its release date has been pushed back. You know that. Like it got pushed back quite a bit. It's because the test screenings were doing so bad that they were like, okay, we're going to reshoot it. And then they did test screening again and they're like, it's still really bad. And they were like, okay, we're going to reshoot it again.
Yeah.
So
it's just, I don't think the villain does anything. Like, the villain is such an important role. This villain, you barely see him, and then whenever he comes in, he's wrong. He doesn't do anything.
There's no reason to fear him at all.
There's like no fear. The only person he kills one guy himself, the SEAL team guy that's basically getting him the results to see what's in the pills. And like even if Sam so he goes out of his way to kill this guy so Sam doesn't know what's in the pills, okay? He's basically what's his name? Ross? Ross is taking pills because his heart's shit, and this guy turns him into the Hulk.
I know about that, yeah.
So he kills this SEAL team guy, but in reality, even if the SEAL team guy called Sam, what the fuck was he gonna do? Oh no, stop taking the pills. It's already too late, right? Yeah, he's taken all the pills. Yeah. Like clearly, no matter what, he's had enough. Like to where he can turn into the Hulk.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. It was a completely useless kill. Or then he like hypnotizes to kill those 4 guys in the prison so that then Sam goes back. But then that doesn't work because then Sam just goes anyway.
I mean, you're talking total nonsense to me because I haven't seen it, but it's just, I don't know. Seems like lazy story writing all over the movie. I think that also might be due to it being like 3 scripts forced into one because they kind of like were like, okay, well, this part of the movie was good. Mm-hmm. We can include that. And this part of the, this reshoot was good. So we can throw that in there too. And so I've seen it. It seems like there's kind of a lot going on, but nothing really happening.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. It was a lot going on. Like then you have like this really cool, like I said, the 2 fighter jets. Then you have Sam and his sidekick who's using his old armor. So you have 2 Falcons. Yeah. They're coming in. They're trying to take out these guys because they're being mind controlled. Like it's really cool. But like I don't know. Like other than that, I feel like nothing in this film really happens.
Yeah, I think that like one of the things that the movie, I mean, I don't know how it really dealt with this, but I think that I would just have a really hard time just seeing him as Captain America for whatever reason. Like I just still see him as the Falcon.
Did you watch the TV show?
I did, and I still just I don't know. Like I don't want to call him Captain America. Like
it's a hard transfer, to be fair.
It's not because it's got to do with like the difference in like their abilities. Like he doesn't fight like I guess and maybe he does in this movie, but it's like he doesn't seem like Captain America to me.
He's definitely very different.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. It's just like I don't know. I think that they could. I feel like they just should have. I wish they just would have named him something else. Like
it's definitely really hard. I bet you that even this movie was really really good. It probably wouldn't have gotten good reviews because anytime a character takes over for another character that was beloved, that never works. A fan of that. Yeah, it never works. Yeah. Now, I will say, out of everyone that they could have done, I do think he was the best choice. A lot of people think that they should have done Bucky instead, but I completely disagree with them. I think that's stupid. I think they definitely chose the correct person, but it is hard to get used to.
I just wish they wouldn't have chose a person. Like Marvel has this.
You think they should have just gotten rid of Captain America altogether?
Even if Captain America's done, yeah, maybe he could give him his shield, but like don't call yourself Captain America. Maybe like, or he gives maybe he gives Sam Wilson a shield that's not the Captain America shield, but something to remember the character by. Like they have this problem where I don't know what they were really thinking when they ended Endgame off with like, you know, getting rid of Captain America, getting rid of Iron Man, and then just immediately like, okay, we're going to fill those mantles though with like characters that we
Are
just
the
don't
exact
like
same
as much.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then also Sam Wilson as a character, we don't know shit about him.
That's true. We actually haven't, even though we literally had a 6-episode run of a show completely about him and Bucky,
Yeah.
which wasn't very good, by the way.
None of them are.
A lot of TV shows haven't been. I feel like we don't know a lot about him, huh?
Yeah.
That's true. I don't know.
Also, I think that the reshoots might have also been caused by how bad Secret Invasion did, because I think Secret Invasion was supposed to play into something that was going on in this, from what I've heard.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me.
Secret
Maybe
Invasion was really hated.
that was a bad show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the whole
Roadie
you
know
scroll
what?
thing.
The Secret Invasion, I
Scrody.
think, makes me so mad too.
Yeah.
Because Secret Invasion is such a cool idea.
Yeah, I
personally, that's why Winter Soldier is my favorite MCU movie,
Mm-hmm.
because I love S.H.I.E.L.D. and I love the spy stuff.
Yeah.
But they didn't do any fucking spy stuff in that movie.
Yeah.
It was such a shit show. I mean, show, not movie.
I know what you meant, yeah. I really wish that, I mean, like, if it was a perfect world to me, I think that Marvel should have not done this multiverse thing yet. I think that after Endgame, they should have done the scroll thing, and that should have been, like, the entire phase. Mm-hmm. I think that should have been a thing that played
I completely agree with
the
that.
entire phase.
I
Where
think
they're
it
just
would've
dropping
worked,
in
too.
little hints, and then the scroll movie happens, and it clears up a lot of the questions about like the really weird things that were going on in all of the movies, and the
that
Avengers
even works as
have to get back
end
together.
level threat.
Yeah.
Like the Skrulls are an end level threat. They're taking over the entire Earth.
Yeah.
They have these characters that are like as strong as the superheroes. Like it completely works. You've been introduced them in Miss Marvel and then all of this, but then they fucking go with Kang, and like Kang is shit. And fucking Ant-Man and Quantumania, which was shit.
Yeah, they really jumped the gun on the whole multiverse thing. And,
They did.
I mean,
I think they introduced it too fast.
yeah, I think
It's funny too because the comics had the same issue. People
Yeah.
don't like they think it's too complicated in the comics as well.
Yeah. I mean, like, you have a really grounded thing. Like, I think that it would have made a lot of sense to go with something a little bit more grounded after Endgame. Because Endgame, yeah, it brought in some of those things where it was like, this is a massive battle. But then we also got to think about, okay, like, entropy-wise, why would we go from this massive battle to, like, okay, now we're going to start making it even more massive and more massive and more massive.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it makes sense that you would want to continue building, but it's like, this is your chance to, like, okay, this was the end of this saga. Now the Avengers are not united at all. There are no Avengers at this point. We need something to, like, unify them. And I feel like the whole quantum realm and, like, multiverse thing was just biting off way more than they could chew.
I think 100%. In my opinion, the reason they did that though is 100% because they wanted to bring in like Fantastic Four, X-Men, since they were getting all these rights. They didn't know how to do that well, so they just went, we'll just do multiverse. Even if it's not amazing, we'll bring in all these new characters, and then we can like kind of restart almost.
I think they could have really easily done that just in the Deadpool movie.
Probably.
They could have just done that there, because if the whole point was to do a merger with Fox, I just don't think that, like, you know, Kang the Conqueror had to be the big bad.
No, yeah. It's not even that King the Conqueror is a bad villain.
Yeah.
To be fair, they made him be bad by
Yeah.
the fact that it's one of these things too with he died to ants.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at it lore-wise, it's actually like those ants are incredibly powerful. They've been alive for like trillions of years. They're incredibly sophisticated. I think they said they were like a level 5 fucking world, which is like a super, if you look, you know how like there's a scale on like civilizations
power
and stuff,
ceilings and stuff,
so it's like a super duper powerful, but it's the optics of dying to an ant.
Yeah.
It's just like they had to have known that would have been a stupid idea.
Yeah, how are you going to kill off this person that's going to be your main level
Yeah.
threat, and against an Avenger that, you know, really hasn't been all that powerful?
No, Ant-Man's a very fucking weak villain. I mean, not villain, hero.
There's not all that much he can do.
No, he turns
So-
small.
Yeah.
Good job.
Or big.
And he's already small in Quantumania. Can he even turn smaller?
Yeah. So,
Okay, yeah,
guess
we
we should-
went a little long there.
no, that's fine. I mean, we can record like 15 minutes of Monkey, and, you know.
I got one more thing to add.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the issue with the Hulk being in the movie is the fact that it's owned by Universal. So they have to pick and choose wisely what they use him for.
Oh,
They
is
should have
Hulk
just
still-
made this a Hulk movie. I still think. I don't care about I don't give a shit about rights. Just fucking buy the rights. Damn, Disney, you got enough money.
They're just not going to give
Just
it
buy
up.
fucking Universal.
It's making them more money
It's not
to.
for sale. It's not for sale.
They're-
They're not
it's-
going to sell it. Like they're not going to sell Spider-Man when it makes them money.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, I mean, you're probably right. If that is the issue, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But then they should have just not done the stuff with the Hulk stuff, right? They shouldn't have used Hulk's villain. Then they shouldn't have used Red Hulk either. I don't think either of those work for a Captain America villain. For how grounded this movie was, the Hulk does not make sense.
Well, in Hulk's story arc right now, he's Smart Hulk, and maybe they wanted just to not explain him changing back and into this brute, and just start with give the people the brute that they want without having to explain it.
But they could have even done Smart Hulk, and then Smart Hulk is trying to find a way to stop Red Hulk without hurting him, but then he realizes he can't, and he just has to fight him anyway. And it almost
That would really be giving the people what they want, because I don't think anybody likes the Smart Hulk thing.
Well,
right
Smart
now.
Hulk's kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because he hasn't fought anything, and he's just kind of I'm super smart. And that's pretty much it.
Yeah, he's just a big pussy.
pretty much. But yeah,
Anyway.
continue. We're doing Monkey now.
Okay. So yeah, the Monkey, I did go into this movie with kind of high expectations because I saw the ratings beforehand, which might have kind of doomed me for the movie. And I did watch trailers for the movie only the day that I went and saw it. So it's I kind of didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into, but I thought that maybe the trailers would give me a good idea of what to expect. This movie is made by Osgood Perkins. This guy also made Longlegs, which that movie also was kind of weird with the marketing. So Longlegs was marketed to be a serial killer horror movie, and then they in the movie or in the trailers they would constantly throw out this movie is comparable to movies like Seven and Silence of the Lambs, and then you actually get to watching Longlegs and you realize that it's something totally different. And I think that actually doomed that movie a little bit in some people's eyes. Now I actually really liked Longlegs because I just wanted to see a good movie, and I thought it was. This movie, The Monkey, kind of marketed itself as being way more of a horror movie than it was. This is through and through a horror comedy, and I wouldn't even say it's a horror. It is mostly a comedy. And I'm also, rating, I would rate this movie a 3 out of 10.
Damn, that is
did not
really
like this movie.
low.
I really did not like this movie. And I gave it a shot. We were in the theater, I watched it with 3 friends. All 4 of us by the 30-minute mark were talking about should we leave? This movie is that boring.
Wow.
To me, I was just incredibly bored.
So can you give me? I have literally no idea what this movie's about. Can you give me a really quick summary?
So basically, The Monkey is this is based on a Stephen King short story, which that also kind of bolstered my expectations for the movie because I knew that going into it. And my favorite Stephen King adapted movie is also based on a Stephen King short story. So I was okay, I think that adapting his short stories are a great idea because adapting something like it, you need 2 movies to do. And also a lot of his movies are so far from being able to be adapted into a movie. I mean, there's a child sex orgy in it. You can't do that.
Wild, by the way. But yeah.
So, but I thought that adapting a short story would be a great idea. From what I've heard, though, the short story is also pretty, doesn't take itself all that seriously. But basically, this is a movie about there's this monkey. It's a little toy monkey.
I would hope so.
You can see it in
Oh,
the,
shit.
in the
There we go.
cover there in the corner. It's basically if you remember that Toy Story 3, the symbol monkey that was really freaky looking.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and it kind of falls into the hands of these 2 kids. It was a relic of their dad's. Now, their dad left kind of mysteriously, but that kind of gets answered by the movie. But basically, it's like a wind-up toy, and whenever you wind it up, he'll start it's kind of random whenever he decides to start doing it, but he'll raise one arm, and then at some point it'll start banging on the drum. And funny enough, it's actually supposed to be a symbol monkey based on the short story it would be, but Disney, because they made, or Pixar, since they made, I guess Disney and Pixar, since they made Toy Story 3, they actually couldn't use the likeness of a symbol monkey in this movie. They had to use the drum. I think that's really weird.
How can you copyright that?
I don't
That's
have
wild.
the slightest idea. I think that's really weird. Anyway. But it'll start banging on the drum, and then it will basically lead to somebody's very graphic and explosive death.
Oh, okay.
So, I mean, the first time that they do it, it kills their babysitter. And it was and the kills are the best thing about this movie. It's they're always like really creative. Basically what ended up happening with that one was they were at like a hibachi restaurant. The hibachi chef accidentally chopped off the head of their babysitter, and it was just like kind of happened out of nowhere. So basically that's what we're dealing with. Is there's like a monkey, and every time that you turn the dial on him, it will kill somebody. Mm-hmm. And then it's in these two brothers' hands, and also at the core of this movie is the feud between these two brothers. Mm-hmm. There's no real reason for this feud. The older brother is just mean to the younger one for no reason at all. He's like, they do make it pretty comedic, the way that he is like, so mean to him, but there really should have been some more development there. At the end of the movie, he does have a reason to be mad at him, and it's also really dumb. Mm-hmm. But throughout the beginning of the movie, the reason why he's mad at him, or why he's dumb or like mean to the other brother, is because he's older than him, and that's just all it is.
Most basic fucking thing.
Yeah, he's like,
I'm older than you. I'm a fucking asshole as well. So
he'll literally just tell him like, I fucking hate you because I'm older than you. It's like, what? It's like, it makes no sense at all. But then this, leads to them using the monkey to try to why they don't know, obviously, the first time that they use it, that this is why their mm-hmm. babysitter died, and then they use it again, and then their mom dies a horrible death. Mm-hmm. And
wait, how did she die? Now I'm kind of interested in the deaths.
It was just like a sporadic aneurysm where it literally shot blood out of her mouth and eyes, and she just died right in front of
her. Shit, and it's like some Final Destination shit.
And this was all brought on by the younger brother turning the monkey, mm-hmm. Because he was he didn't know what it did.
Of course,
and it ended up killing the mom. And the older brother pretended not to know mm-hmm. that he had, turned the monkey's key. But deep down, he always did know that the reason for his mother's death was because the younger brother turned mm-hmm. the monkey. And that's what starts their actual feud.
Now, is this late? So is this like a
That is the very beginning of the movie.
Oh, okay. So he hates them before that as well, though.
Yeah, for no reason.
Okay.
But now he actually has a reason to hate him.
That makes sense.
But it doesn't reveal itself that this is why he hates him for a very long time. Because right after that happens, there's a big time jump, and now we're 20-something years in the future.
Okay.
Or 30 years in the future. They throw away the monkey, and they're like, he's out of our lives. But, then basically their aunt dies a horrible death. Mm. And it's kind of mysterious as to why. But it seems very characteristic of something that the monkey would have been a part of. Mm-hmm. And that brings the main character and his son, who he is also estranged and gotten out of the life of because of the same reason why you could assume that their father left them. Is because, everywhere he goes, death goes too because of the monkey. But anyway, he ends up, having to have the weekend with his son. And that also brings them back to where, to their aunt's house because, he's going there to claim things from the house and do post-death things. And then, some more deaths end up happening. Some really crazy ones. My favorite in the entire movie, the one that really actually got me to start liking the movie, was this one death where he's on the phone talking to his older brother, who he hasn't talked to in several years. And there's an exposed wire leading to a pool, and it ends up shocking the pool, and some random lady in the background jumps into it, and the second that her finger touches the pool, her entire body explodes, sending blood and guts everywhere.
I see why you thought this is a comedy.
Yeah, well, it can't take itself seriously. The story is just kind of not good. The acting is pretty bad. Yeah. I didn't really like anything about it. I'm not going to lie to you.
Surprised you gave it such a high score.
But basically what ends up kind of being the culmination of what's happening is the older brother won't see the younger brother because he hates him, and he's kind of accepted that. But then he's like, hey, we really do need to get back together because we need to try to find a way to stop this monkey because somebody has it.
Yeah.
And it's killing people. And then the plot does throw you a little bit of a wrench because you see this kid buy the monkey at a yard sale. Mm-hmm. So you think he has it. It's the older brother the whole time. And the whole thing that the older brother is doing is he's constantly turning the key of that monkey and begging the monkey to kill the younger brother.
Damn.
He is pleading with it to kill the younger brother, but that's not how the monkey works. It just kills somebody random every time. So he's responsible for
he's just killing fuck tons of people.
Yeah, over 50 people. He kills a ton of people using the monkey, trying to get it to kill the younger brother.
Does it only kill people related, or is it
No,
just anyone? It's
just random ass people.
Some guy fucking in China just jumps off a like.
Yeah, like you'll always kind of like know of why the monkey sort of chose that person, but it's never the person that you're hoping that it's gonna kill.
Yeah,
it's totally random. And then the older brother's plot becomes, okay, I need to use that kid that bought the monkey. I need to use him to try to get him to turn it because maybe that will kill my younger brother. And then they end up like, you know, the younger brother is able to stop the older brother after the older brother literally gets comically beat up by the monkey toy. I'm not even kidding. It like throws him across a room. Nice. And then he's like, you know, hey, you need to stop this. This is whatever. And then they shake hands and they agree to, you know, cause a truce. And then, but the thing was, the older brother had winded up the monkey one too many times, and there was still a charge left there, and he just dies like right then and there.
The older brother,
yeah, the older brother.
Nice.
And then that's just kind of how it ends. I mean,
that does seem like a weird movie, like a bad movie.
It was just bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's weird that how many people enjoyed the movie.
Maybe it's just because it's gratuitous death. There's a reason that there's like 10 Final Destination movies.
I suppose. But I don't think that this movie's gratuitous death was even like that entertaining. Most of them were just kind of like, well, okay. It was like shock. I mean, yeah, the shock value is like the whole point. But like, I did see some people talk about the horror comedy aspect of this movie, saying that it was like a high point for them because if the movie were to be a strictly horror movie, it would actually just be a straight up bad time to watch.
Yeah.
Because like, holy shit, like some of the deaths are absolutely insane, and it's like. It's actually a very morbid topic where it's like everywhere these guys go, they're just followed by gratuitous, disgusting deaths of people that they love. And it would be pretty hard to watch if it were to take itself seriously. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise, but I just don't think that horror comedies ever really work for me.
Like, it's just not your type of genre. You want it to either be scary or funny, not both.
And this movie,
it's kind of weird that that's even a genre. Those are literally exact opposites.
Exactly. Like, I don't think it's ever really like worked the way it's intended to.
Yeah.
That's the thing about it. That's really what it comes down to with me with that genre. Like, Scary Movie is one of my favorite comedy movies ever.
Yeah, but it's not actually scary, of course.
It doesn't even try to be.
No, it's obviously a comedy, yeah.
But this movie does try to be scary a little bit. And I think it's dumb. They should have done one or the other.
The scariness is bad and the comedy is funny, but at the same time, it's not funny enough to be a good movie.
Like, Osgood Perkins is trying to capitalize on what he had with, you know, Longlegs by, you know, coming out with another movie very shortly after it and, you know, keeping his hype train alive. But this was like a really weird way to do it. And I said I was going to get into the marketing. Like, yeah, this movie marketed itself being a little bit scarier than it was going to be. And like even you can look at the poster. The poster. This looks like a horror movie.
Yeah, 100%.
This is a straight up
like a Chucky type of movie.
This is a straight up comedy movie, and there's nothing horrific about it. It's like it's very much so not a horror movie. And you know, I kind of expected that, especially whenever I heard that the guy that made Longlegs directed it. I thought that the marketing team was what, you know, like was behind marketing the Longlegs the way that they did. I'm starting to think that Osgood Perkins has a thing for trying to like throw you a bone in the wrong direction with his trailers, and I think he needs to stop that.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
This has never worked out for him. This is like Longlegs was a good movie, but a lot of people hated it because they were expecting something more grounded. I don't know why people are liking this movie as much as they are.
What does it have? It has a producer. Scroll up. Or down, whichever way the rating is.
6.6.
Okay, it's not that good. 6.6.
I just disliked it a lot more than most
yeah, I was gonna say you just didn't like it a lot more than that.
I think that like he really does need to stop. I think it's very clear that he is behind the marketing of these movies now. I think that he really needs to stop throwing people in the wrong direction with his movies. It's a recipe for disaster.
Oh yeah.
Like shock value, where it's like it kind of takes like a turn mid movie. I'm cool with that. That's what Longlegs did. Longlegs was predominantly like a serial killer murder mystery, kind of like grounded crime thriller horror. And then it took a turn and got like demonic. And I thought that was cool. And like they did get a little bit into that in the trailers. This one, like I thought that the trailer looked like it was going to take itself more seriously than it did, though it did seem to be a little bit over the top, and I thought that that just might be its style. But there was nothing really to show you in the direction of this is actually a horror comedy. Mm-hmm. And doing an entire genre change from what you're expecting is not a good idea.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why I'm really shocked at, just how well received this movie's been.
Even with a 6.6, it's like, that's too high.
I
should be lower.
I think so. I guess the movie was like, I could give it that it was like, it was charming, I guess. And like, the plot was, it was okay. I think everything about the movie is just okay.
Fair.
But I just didn't like it.
Fair.
But yeah, that was The Monkey.
And I talked about
Captain
my
America.
movie. Yeah.
Brave New World. So you gave yours a 6. I gave mine a 3. So
that was a very negative episode.
Well, that's good though, because a lot of ours were just meat writing a movie that I already like.
This is true.
So this is good.
That's what the next episode's going to be.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I hadn't seen Hateful Eight up until like.
Really? I thought you'd seen it.
I hadn't seen it.
Oh shit! Okay, this is gonna be one of our very few first-time watches for Connor.
Well, this one was a first-time watch, and then we did, Deadpool, and
Well, yeah, those are brand new though. I'm talking about old movies
yeah.
that you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited to talk about Hateful Eight.
But yeah,
and I'm really happy that I got to actually talk about The Monkey, because I actually really wanted to give my take on the movie, because it's
kind of different from everyone else.
It's different from everybody else, and I think that there's actually something there with the way that the movie was like directed versus like the way that it actually came out. Mm-hmm. I think that it was actually kind of an interesting thing to get to talk about. So that was a good episode.
It was a good episode.
All right. Well, I've been Connor.
I've been Casey.
And go watch the news.
Thanks.